Welcome and thank you for joining me. Again, my name is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Any of the cards that I make, all the supplies are Stampin' Up! Related unless I mention otherwise, but 99% of everything I use is Stampin' Up! Related and can be purchased through my online store. And I do appreciate your support on that because when you purchase through me, it supports me in a job that I absolutely love. And today we're going to be working on some cards that you can send to your friends that are also stuck in quarantine. I've said for the last few weeks, it's just been a godsend that I have so many Stampin' Up! Supplies because that's what I've spent my time doing. It is such a stress reliever. And I feel that if I send cards to others, that maybe those cards that they get in the mail may decrease some stress for them as well. And so one of the things I came up with was my super creative friend Lori Healing came up with something similar to this. She did the little pig and an oval with some different backgrounds, but I copied her idea on the pig to do this little one with the mask. So we're going to be doing the two cards today. So let's go ahead and get started with today's cards. Let me move you down to my workspace. This little piggy stayed home. Now this card uses the This Little Piggy stamp set and the layering ovals. And then for the little picket fence in the background, I used our delicate lace edgelets. I used this one in the middle. And you'll notice he's got a little face mask on. My super talented friend Lori Healing posted one of these the other day. I thought it was just so cute. So I started out my card with an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's our standard card base. The inside again was 4 inches by 5 1/4. For the grass on the outside, I have 2.5 inches by 5 inches. And mine actually, my scrap was 6 inches, so I left it at 6 inches, and I'm going to trim it off afterwards so that I can make sure that it is exactly all the way across. And then I use my layering circle dies and my delicate lace edgelets. This one, the paper was 1 3/4 by 5.5. And then I use the 2 7/8 scallop and the 2 5/8 straight circle. This is on Petal Pink and this is Whisper White. And then I needed a scrap of white to do his little face mask, and then I needed a scrap to stamp his head because the head is actually on there with Stampin' Dimensionals so that I could put the little mask on him. So we'll start assembling by putting our picket fence onto our grass. Okay, so now I can flush it up to this side and across the bottom, and then I can flip it over and trim from the back side. And that way I know that it fits exactly. For the little piggy, I stamped him in Smoky Slate. You can use basic black or the tuxedo black, or you can use the gray if you want it to be a little bit lighter. If you really want it to blend in, you could stamp him in the Petal Pink and then color him with Petal Pink, and he'd be all pink. It's really cute. So I stamped him once onto there, and then I'm going to stamp his head a second time, and I'm going to fussy cut that out. The most important thing about fussy cutting is to remember to make sure your hand is comfortable and you're twisting the paper. It's easier to make the paper move than to hold your wrist at an uncomfortable angle. Okay, so this is the part that I'm going to put his mask onto. That's going to be about the right size. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored just because I want to put a couple little straight lines, because if you've seen the little facial masks, they have little pleats in them. That's actually one of the things I've been doing a lot lately, is I've been making face masks. I heard the little, well, number one, you can't get the elastic anymore. It's kind of hard to find. And so I did it with ties, and it also won't irritate behind the ears. And then I've inserted a pipe cleaner into the top so it'll have the little part where the nose bends. And so that's what I'm doing with my scoring tool, is I'm making the pleats in the mask for a little piggy. And I'm cutting it really close to the top and bottom one so that his mask isn't too big. You can see the little lines in there. But just a little something. And then for the strings, I have some white baker's twine. And what I'm going to do is just, let's put some adhesive on here. And I did a couple swipes of it because I want it to be kind of thick. If you had larger glue dots, I mean, that might even be something you could use. But then I'm going to go corner to corner and snip this off, and then go corner to corner again. These are my paper scissors, so they're not cutting very well on fabric. That's another great tip, is that you want to make sure that you have separate scissors that you use for paper than you use for your ribbons and strings, because I don't know, they wear the scissors differently somehow. For our Piggy, like I said, I'm coloring him in Petal Pink. We're going to set our little mask right across the front. So again, I'm going to want some kind of extra something to hold it on there, so let's grab a dimensional. Oh, we'll put that on the head. Let's put glue dots on here. I don't want to make him too thick. And so now you're just going to arrange the little strings for his mask and wrap it around like he's got it wrapped on his head. And then I'm going to just adhere it on the back side. Okay, so we just want to basically tuck it behind and then trim off the excess. See, my fabric scissors work much easier. Those were some scissors Stampin' Up sold a while back. I love them. I wish they'd bring them back. Okay, so there's our little Piggy with his mask. Then we can color him on here. I'm going to give a little shading with the dark. And then come in and finish him off with the light. The trick to blending with the Stampin' Blends is to do them while they're still wet. And if they're not blending well, continue to lay down more ink until it's good and wet. And that's where it's going to make the best blend. And don't worry that you're using too much, because it's totally normal that it's all going to bleed through the back. Some people even lay down so much ink that they have to have something on their surface to catch that excess ink. So while I have my sponges out here, let's give him a little sky and some grass. Just get his hooves down here with the black. And then we're ready to add his second little face. Just right over the top. And so what that's going to do is it's going to hide the strings behind his head. Doesn't that come out cute? I've also seen people put little masks on our little people too. They come out super cute. But Lori was the first one I saw actually use the twine and have straps on it. So I thought that was really cute. So there you go. There's the outside of card number 2. For the inside, like I said, I always put a little something in there. And there's lots of little additional things that you can stamp in there. This is one of our older cling mounts, and so I have to come to hold it down to make sure that it sticks well. If you use our new Stampin' Up stamps, they are stickier. They're cling mount. These are clear mount. Sorry, clear mount. Okay, so I'm just bringing in a little baby wipe because I'm gonna try not to stamp the little words on here. I just want to stamp the pig and the underside. So I'm trying to selectively ink. Another way you could do it is you could cover that part with masking tape while you ink it up and then peel that off. But see there, I'm able to stamp him without the little words that went with it. Some people cut apart their stamps. That idea freaks me out. I couldn't do that, but some people can. Have you guys all seen my new Creativity Realm? I created a new Facebook page or a group where I'm trying to get you guys to share the things that you create. And then every month I'm going to be giving something away to one of those people who posted. because I really want to see what you guys are doing. I want to know that the stamps that you're buying you're using and that you're coming up with some cute stuff. People are kind of afraid to show their things because they're saying, oh, I'm not as good as you. Well, that's not necessarily true. We're all our own worst critic. And I think if you just shared a little, it would help keep everybody in brighter spirits, and you might win some fun stuff. So make sure that you request to join that. If you have trouble finding it, you can usually find it from my page or send me a message and I'll make sure to add you. The more people I can get to shop with me, the more things I can do for you guys. And again, I don't want you buying stuff you're not going to use. I want you using your supplies. And so if you ever buy something and you are lacking ideas, or you need some inspiration, let me know. That's what I'm here for. I love to give tips and tricks and help you use your supplies and make yourself less stressed, and then pass on some smiles to someone else. So there's the inside of my card. I haven't decided what I'm going to stamp in the middle yet here, but we do have lots of fun stamps with sentiments that will go great for this little piggy. Oh, almost forgot. There's one more little thing. I wanted to say this little piggy stayed home, and I didn't have a stayed home. And so what I did is I got onto my computer and I printed it out. And then all I have to do is come in with my punch and punch it out. Now I did this in, I think it was 18-point font, but if you want, you can just let me know and I'll send you the PDF file. I mean, it's simple enough. It only took me a few seconds to pop it in there, but that allowed me to create a sentiment that I did not have. Now I don't have time to do that with all of my things, that's why I have stamps, but when I don't have something and I really want it, I do back up to my computer days and print it out on cardstock. So this was printed on Whisper White cardstock and punched out with a Stampin' Up punch, and I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And there you go. This little piggy stayed home and stayed 6 feet away. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed today's cards. Again, if you need any inspiration or advice with your stamping things, feel free to reach out. That's what I'm here for. I love my job, and part of that job is helping you guys. So thanks for joining me, and if you need anything, all the supplies are available in my Stampin' Up store, and I will see you next Monday right back here at 2:30 for some more stamping fun. Thanks. Bye.